All right, everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 49. We're one away from 50. I am your host. I know. As always, Rob Fanzo. This is the We Are One, You Are Two PlayStation and Video Game Podcast. My co-host joining me once again today, Matt Rhodes.
Hello.
It's kind of crazy. We are one episode away from 50. We're halfway there.
That's crazy. Halfway there. I don't know where there is, but we're halfway almost.
Halfway to 100.
Yeah.
Special shout out, speaking of episode numbers, Jonah Peck, the guy that does the podcast Putting in Work, just released his 100th episode today as we're recording, or maybe it was yesterday. And his first guest ever on that show was Greg Miller, so his 100th guest on that show is Greg Miller.
Nice.
He went back and did it again, so I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him. So congrats to him. I just wanted to give him a shout out over there in Australia. He does really good quality work. Go check it out. It's called Putting in Work. But I do want to let everyone know that if you enjoy what you hear, you can join us over on patreon.com in 2019/WeAreOneUR2, whether you like Patreon or not. What we're going to start doing over there for Patreons is we're going to actually start having good old weekly polls for our Patreons to vote on. So for just $1, you can go over there and vote on what we talk about every week on this show. Sometimes I'll put the poll on Twitter just to kind of show you what it is, or I might tease a link to it, and you can follow us there on Twitter at WeAreOneUR2. But we're going to start doing that every week in 2019. My hope is also we're going to reveal some collaborations in 2019 that will also be access only first to Patreons and then on the website later at a later date as well. And so that's in the works. I'm kind of working on the behind the scenes of that. And we'll have more to talk about that in the upcoming weeks. I know.
So behind the scenes, I don't even know about it.
It is so... It's so behind the scenes, no one knew but me and one other person. I just let Dave know the other day. So,
oh, snap.
So we'll talk about that at a later date. So it'll be exciting stuff. I think it'll be stuff that you guys will really enjoy that are listening to us. Some collaborators and content creators that I've brought on board that are going to post regularly to our website. Some embargoed stuff, some reviewed stuff, some Let's Plays. And, of course, we're going to stick with our podcast here, as we always do. And so we'll talk about that later, though, like I said. All right, Matt, as is customary, I do want to go ahead and start with what we've been playing, because I feel like I've been playing a lot, and I feel like it's been a while since we talked about that, because our last episode was regarding a game that's in the pre-alpha stage, really, or in the alpha stage. So it's been a while since, and I believe before that, too, we did our Game of the Year stuff. So it's been a while since we talked about what we've been playing. But I'll let you start, because I know you've got a long list.
Oh, my gosh. My list is so long. I'm going to go with Fortnite and Rocket League.
What? Well, now to be fair, last time we had talked, you were playing Prey. What happened with that?
I always do this to myself. I get so close, and then I burn myself out, because I get all the collectibles, which is like the hardest thing, and I'm just like, all right, I'm good for a bit. And then, also, I've been binge watching Game of Thrones with my girlfriend.
Yeah, that'll eat up your time.
Because she had never seen it, or well, she'd only seen the first season. But she's read the books. So we just finished it last night. So I'm gonna have a little bit more time to game with different games, and I don't know. I gotta branch out, but I just enjoy Fortnite and Rocket League, and I don't know. It's a good product. I have fun when I'm playing them, no matter how frustrated I get. But I don't know. They're enjoyable games.
Good.
So, but I'm excited for the docket of 2019. There are a lot of games that are going to be just insane. I can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of games that you won't finish.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean,
that you'll play. You'll inevitably get ahead of me. You'll talk about how amazing the game is. I'll catch up to you, finish it, talk about how amazing it is, and you'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I've been playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 100% what's going to happen.
I mean, because you were also, before that, you were playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but you didn't finish that, right?
No, I did not. Did you finish Odyssey?
I just finished the 3rd chapter.
Okay.
I just got to the cultists.
Spoiler alert, Robert. Jeez.
Oh, please. It's last year's game. And that's not really spoiling anything.
No,
I got to the cultists.
Okay. I'm further than you on that, at least.
Yeah, I know you are. Well, I've also been playing Red Dead.
Uh-huh.
And so I think I'm near the end of chapter 3 in Red Dead as well.
Oh, yeah. You're way farther than me on that.
Yeah. Well, chapter 2 had like 40 frickin' missions to it.
That's fun.
Yeah, and chapter 3 is the same way. I've gotten like I've done at least 10 missions.
Yeah,
and I'm still in chapter 3, so I don't even know. I'm probably like halfway through chapter 3. I can play that game for 4 hours, literally just the mission stuff, and I'm still not. You're still not through a chapter. So I have been playing that. I've been playing Odyssey. I've been playing a lot of Hollow Knight as well.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people raved about that last year, and I got the Void Heart edition when it was on sale, and I'm super pumped about that. But I will say it's a little frustrating at times. Mm-hmm. And then I also, because January 25th, my first most anticipated game of this year, and we can talk about that shortly here, comes out, I went back and played DMC, the definitive edition of Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And that was the one that Ninja Theory did. They did their kind of reboot that a lot of people hated the look of Dante and complained about that. What's great, though, is since it's a definitive edition, you can actually just change the skin to like the original Dante. So that's cool. What I did.
Yeah.
And so other than a couple of cutscenes where it like glitches, sometimes it's me in the cutscene, sometimes it glitches back to like the original skin.
Yeah.
What I do is I just pretend like I'm playing with the old Dante. And so my goal is to get through definitive edition, and then, because I heard it's short, and then I'll get back to Devil May Cry 4, because I never played 4. I played 1 and 2. I didn't play 3. I didn't play 4. I didn't play definitive edition. So kind of working my way backwards, I guess. And then I'm going to try and finish Celeste finally.
You didn't finish Celeste?
No, I'm in World 5. I got to get through World 5, and I'm on World... I might even be on World 6.
See, that was a game where it was long enough. It was interesting enough and just short enough for me to be like, just like literally like blast through it. And the story was so good.
Yeah, and I got obsessed with the strawberries. You know, we talk about collectibles.
Yeah, you're obsessed with that. Yeah,
I have like 90 strawberries, and so yeah, so that's why I didn't get through the worlds as quickly as you, because I would spend like 40 minutes getting one strawberry.
I think I have like 10.
Yeah, I think I have 85 to 90. And I think it was World 4. I had something like 480 deaths because of it.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that. And then Onrush, which I introduced you to, that I think you absolutely hated.
Oh, yeah? I played Onrush.
Yeah, you hated every minute of it. I loved it.
I was so mad.
It's basically like a Twitch shooter where you're supposed to die every 20 seconds and not be upset about it.
Yet I was getting super upset about it.
I know you were. It was hilarious. And then last but not least, I played Horizon Chase Turbo, which, do you remember like the old like race games that had like the scrolling background that came at you real fast?
Yeah. That's
basically what that is.
Scrolling background isn't like you're looking head on at said scrolling background?
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, 2D with 3D at the same time. Mm-hmm. I love it. Horizon Chase Turbo. Look it up. It's like $10. It's so much fun. Brings me back to that. And then finally, last but not least, I have to give a shout out to my VR game that I've been playing. I finished the campaign. I am a Beat Saber master.
He's a master beater, ladies and gentlemen.
I am a master. I'm master of my saber.
Yep.
Get it right.
You mastered beating your saber.
I did. But I'll tell you what, I have sweat more playing that game than any other game I think I've ever played. And I don't know if it's because of the VR headset or because of the movement or a combination of both. Because that VR headset causes you to sweat a little bit, but, the movement definitely adds up too. All right. That's really it for what we've been playing. I know that was rather long-winded, but I don't care. So it's my podcast.
Hey, well, I mean, this is the first time you've had so much time to play video games, right? I mean,
I did. I had time off of work for a week and a half, and I had no family visits. I had nowhere to travel to visit family. This is the first time in 5 years I haven't traveled during a break at my job.
Wow. Well, you did a little bit of traveling.
I did. I went and saw hockey and stuff. Yeah. And we went, we went ice skating about an hour away or so and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't. So I had plenty of time to sit around and play games, and most of it was Beat Saber. All right. Let's get into the news for a little bit. There's not much, but let's go ahead and move into that.
Yep.
So this is the news roll, or we like to call it here the PS-news as well. Not a whole lot going on. I had to dig deep this week for the news. Maybe by the time we release this episode, there'll be more. I doubt it because it's the end of the week. But your news for the past week, first and foremost, Sony highlighted its biggest upcoming PS4 games in a new montage trailer that they released this morning. And what was kind of fascinating to me, it's about a 2-minute and 18-second trailer. And it's UK trailer, but in its latest coming attraction trailer, it listed everything from Devil May Cry up to Death Stranding. And so it highlights games like Devil May Cry 5 that are out January 25th to no games that have no date at all. And so it's almost like they're reminding us that, hey, by the way, by the end of this year or within the next year, you will see most of these.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand why they included Death of Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, and Last of Us Part 2. Because none of those have release dates.
Right.
I'll take it with a grain of salt that it doesn't mean anything, but what if they're just kind of teasing us and saying by January of next year, you could have all of those? Maybe. That would be nice.
It definitely would be nice.
So even though Sony's been quiet lately, they gave us that little montage trailer this morning, so go check that out. Speaking of games that are coming out soon, though, not just Devil May Cry 5, but Anthem is coming out. This is a game I probably don't really care about. I'm trying really hard to be interested.
Oh, you said Anthem?
Yeah, Anthem.
Yeah.
Launches February 22nd, but I think I'm going to have to take advantage of this just to see if I like it. If you pre-ordered, there's a launch January 25th for a demo. If you didn't pre-order, February 1st, they're releasing 1 week later, they're going to have a public demo, and that'll be live over that weekend. So I think I'll go check that out just to see. From my understanding, people who have done it enjoyed it, unlike Mass Effect Andromeda, but I don't know. I just can't get excited for that. I want to. I can't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look interesting enough for me. It looks like Destiny, EA's answer to Destiny. So that's just me.
That's sad.
It is. Also in the news, a game from last year, but a studio that does interest me. And this is our second news item, or third, I guess. Detroit Become Human developer Quantic Dream.
Yes.
They basically fulfilled their 3-game contract with Sony, which means that they are now free to produce games for whoever or whatever they want.
Oh.
And they announced on Twitter, they said, "Thank you for a fabulous 2018. We shall be back soon with great news. Stay well and happy. Share your passion and love." So, what do we think that great news is?
I would imagine a new game.
You think so already?
I don't know. Great news? They're setting the bar pretty high, right? What else could be great news?
Well, here's my 2 guesses. Sony decided to buy them, or Microsoft decided to buy them since Microsoft's buying everything else. Although they didn't do fantastic with all 3 of those games, I think with Detroit Become Human, they sold, 2 million units?
Yeah.
I could see Sony going, you know what? That's enough for us. We'll purchase you, make you exclusive first party.
Yeah.
Or, crazy thought, they resurrect Telltale Studios.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that'll happen. But because they do the same thing, right? They do the narrative-driven stories with the choices. But I probably think that they're probably going to be purchased.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of those 2 that they celebrate that they're being purchased by somebody. We'll see what happens. All right.
Okay.
News item 4. Square Enix boss announced or felt the need to suggest, this is Yosuke Matsuda, issued a New Year's message, according to Push Square, saying that there's a rapid adaptation of new platforms, talking about video game streaming and subscription services. And so he thinks, quote, meanwhile, cloud streaming services for gaming have at last begun to show signs of taking off. Streaming is likely to bring a number of new platform operators into the market, in addition to the existing console providers. And so I guess he thinks, based on this, that there will be more platform operators and that streaming will be a new subscription-based business model, and how Square Enix will probably want to dive into that. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Josh, yep.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, I can see it maybe being a thing, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like it's just going to be hard to like actually like take care of. I don't know.
Well, internet connections. And again, if you really want to hear us talk about this in depth, I think it's like episode 43 or something we had Josh on. Go check that out. And
yeah, 43.
Oh, was it really?
Well, I have it listed as 42, but I think the Spider-Man special was... No, wait.
Okay.
Wait, no, I lied.
I was going to say, that's impressive, because I was just picking a number off the top of my head. So if it was 43, I was going to applaud myself. Either way, what I was going to say in regards to that is, if you want that more in depth, go ahead and listen to it. We talk a lot about the future of streaming and whether or not we think it's here. We'll see. I don't think it's here yet. I don't think it's going to be here for next generation either. And we'll talk about that a little bit and what we want from our PS5 console. That's going to be our topic for the day. All right. On to another controversial comment or topic in our next news item here. And this one again comes from Push Square. It says, Sony made a bad decision to skip E3 2019, says Pachter. Good old analyst Michael Pachter. Probably infamous for his foolish predictions. He thinks Sony made a mistake skipping E3 2019 and likened the organization to, quote, child taking their ball home after last year's event didn't quite go to plan.
What didn't go to plan for them?
I guess maybe he feels like they probably spent money and that they shouldn't have, in the way that they moved people around and had that performance and everything like that. So,
well, I mean, that's kind of on them for having a... I don't know. That was weird. It was just like there were so many lulls. I feel like it wasn't like exciting. You couldn't get excited about things because it was just like, oh, whatever.
Now, I don't think they're stupid to skip. I think they are making hand over fist with PlayStation 4 in terms of selling units.
Yeah.
I think that releasing a sizzle trailer like they did today excites me enough for 2019 and even 2020. Like, when I watched that trailer, I was like, oh, my wallet is going to be hurting. There's so many good games coming out over the next year and a half. I mean, I don't need anything from Sony except a trailer like that once in a while to remind me that we don't need to show you anything else. All these awesome games are coming.
Right.
And so I'm totally okay with them skipping. And we've talked about this before as well in another episode back. So if you want to go back and listen to that, you can as well. But I do think they'll be back in 2020 just to announce PS5. And again, that'll lead into our topic here shortly. I don't foresee them not doing E3 ever again. I just think that, and maybe they won't. Maybe they'll do a couple of years without it. But I think they'll come back next year and say, we wanted to come back with just one more time to announce PlayStation 5. And from here on out, we're going to do what we call PlayStation 5 events or something like that. Kind of like Nintendo Directs. So we'll see. I'm fine with what they did. All right. 2 more on the docket, and that's going to wrap it up. The first one, apparently, I just saw this. There's evidence mounting for an unannounced Uncharted game. I don't know if I buy this.
What?
But Sony appears to be anchoring a new game development team to its Visual Arts Service Group division. And so that is basically a division that has been leveraged by several first-party developers for motion capture work. But that group also, they believe, took the reins of Uncharted while Naughty Dog explores different concepts. Because remember, they basically said, we're done with Uncharted. We would love to see somebody else pick it up, but we're done with it.
Right.
And so I guess supposedly this is the group that had picked it up. And so since they're looking for, quote, highly motivated, highly talented, and creative lead character artists for the next chapter of cinematic storytelling, and high-quality third-person action adventure games, they took that as the potential for a new Uncharted. I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens. I'll take it with a grain of salt. So just take that with a grain of salt. Don't read into it, but I just thought I'd bring it up because it was interesting, caught my eye. Last but not least, this is the most important news item of the day. Dark Souls developer, because I love Dark Souls.
Oh, do you?
I do a little bit. It's really weird, actually, because I hated that series for the longest time. And now I can't get enough of those types of games. Dark Souls Studio from Software announced that they're working on 2 unannounced games. They need a little bit more time. This is a quote. We need just a little bit more time, basically, for Miyazaki before it discusses any further details. Now, 2 unannounced games is interesting because Sekiro has already been announced, and it's coming out March 22nd. So my money is on Bloodborne 2 as one of them. The other one may be something odd, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think what's in their back catalog that they could announce, but I think one of them is probably Bloodborne 2. They'd be stupid not to do Bloodborne 2.
Yeah. I feel like it was such a big hit.
It was, and it was a Sony exclusive, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sony approached them and said, look, you don't even have to make it exclusive. You can publish it on whatever you want. Maybe publish it on us first. But, let's get Bloodborne 2 going.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be happening, but that would be amazing if it would.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the other one could be. I have no idea. Because they definitely have done with the Souls series. So
yeah,
that's going to wrap it up for the news, unless you've got anything you found or want to share.
Nope, no news on my front.
Nope. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. I had to scour the darkest corners of the web for news. All right. It's time for the talk. So this is the topic of conversation. It's been a while since we did one of these, I feel like. But maybe I'm wrong. So I thought today what we could talk about is what do we want from a PlayStation 5 perspective. And you and I talked a little bit about this before we got started. I had no idea at first what I wanted, but the more I think about it, the more I have a pretty clear picture of what I want. And it's 2019, so it's a new year, which guess what? That means there's going to be rumors flying around all about PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I mean, with Sony being silent this year and not really chiming in on much and skipping E3 and not having a PlayStation experience in December, people are all abuzz about them working on PlayStation 5. And I think that's fairly evident, and their silence is probably because they want us to speculate. They want us to drive that buzz. And so we're just going to feed the hype train because we're helping them out here, even if they're not paying us for it. But that would be my question to you, good sir.
Okay.
Why don't you share a thing? Or we'll just kind of bounce back and forth some ideas. What do we want out of a PlayStation 5?
I mean, I have a 4K TV, so I mean, I want a drive that can play my 4K UHD DVDs or Blu-rays, I guess.
Okay.
I have these, ultra high def, whatever movies that I should be able to play and see in awesome 4K definition on my TV. But alas, I do not have a player. And it's kind of hard to justify because a lot of the players are probably close to $200 right now. I mean, there may have been deals at Christmas, but I wasn't really on top of that. But knowing that the next generation should have it, Xbox One X already has it, right? It already has that drive. So for Sony to not have it would be a huge misstep, I think, by them. So I want them to have it because if not, then guess who's getting an Xbox?
Really? You would do that just for that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my machine should be multifunctional, right? It shouldn't just be for, I understand that people have the Pro, and because of the Pro, they're able to stream 4K and all that. They have the chip for that. So why would they continue with that trend and not up the technology, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, I would probably venture over to Xbox, and if their new machine had a UHD drive that I wanted, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to buy an Xbox One X anytime soon, but, if for some reason Sony drops the ball in that way and I have to buy an Xbox for that, because that's the, better hardware, then I'll do it.
Interesting. I'm surprised, considering how you and I always joke about our hardcore Sony loyalty.
That's true. I mean, we have been so super loyal. The one thing I do like about, and I guess they've kind of ported them over for most of them though, but the Dead Rising series.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know you're a huge fan of that.
Yeah. It's just such silly zombie killing fun,
Yeah.
So if they do an exclusive again, like they did for the first, it was like I believe it was the first. I think it was a launch title, I believe, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it was like one of their first games for the Xbox One X, the Xbox One X. It wouldn't surprise me if they did it again. Basically,
I do think you won't have to worry about a 4K UHD drive not being an issue. I can't imagine that being an issue.
Yeah, I'd be so surprised. I'd be super shocked.
I would too. I don't think that's going to happen. So I wouldn't even begin to think about that from Sony's end. I think that they recognize, especially since they were the ones that did the Blu-ray charge and kind of led that. I'm sure that will be a natural integration of that. Just like I'm sure some sort of 4K processing chip will be part of it as well, right?
Well, I mean, there's 100% going to be a processing chip. I mean, again, that's already in the PS4 Pro.
Right. And so I don't think we have to worry about anything 4K wise. I think that's guaranteed. But to go with that, I'm going to throw this in because you and I talked about this off air.
Yeah.
And I think you're right because I have, on my PlayStation 4, I have a 1 terabyte hard drive installed. I took the 500 gig out from launch, put a 1 terabyte in. I bought an external 2 terabyte hard drive. I have 3 terabytes. I have purchased more digital this
year
generation
than
I have in the past.
Sure.
And that's mainly because there's a lot of indie titles that I've purchased that are digital only. Yeah. And some of them I've tracked down. I've tracked down my favorites like Nex Machina and Fury and Enter the Gungeon. Through limited run games, I've purchased them. And special reserve games, I've purchased those like 2,000 copy prints,
Right.
But I still have a lot of digital, even some of the bigger games like, not Red Dead, goodness. Something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I didn't want the physical. I just didn't. I went with digital for that.
Yeah, I made the mistake. I think that's one of the reasons I stopped playing it a little bit. Like, because I got lazy about changing the discs. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds so stupid and so lazy, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to have to, like, rummage around through, like, 3 cases to make sure I have the right one. And then, I just want to click over and click the button and start the game.
So that's 2 things then. That's going to bring me to 2 things I want. One, I want a 4 terabyte hard drive to start, like the option of a 4 terabyte from the get-go. Yeah. If you want to put a 2 terabyte in there at a lower SKU, that's fine, lower price SKU, but give me the 4 terabyte option and I'll buy that right off the bat because I know it'll be worth it.
Right. I've always bought the higher option.
Same here. I do think that 4 terabytes should be the lower option. And then like an upscale 6 terabyte if you really
I was
want.
just going to ask actually because we talked about it off air, but I kind of like, as you were getting into it, I was like, man, do we think that 4 terabytes is enough?
I would say if all games go like Red Dead where they're 100 gigs, no. If they all go that way, no. So maybe 4 would be nice because that will keep the cost down. 6 would probably be better.
Yeah. But also, how much will those cost by the time it actually comes out?
That's true too. So maybe we're looking at a 4 or 6 as the standard.
Right.
The second thing, and it hit me when you said that, because that's honestly too, I can't even tell you what's in my disk drive right now. I can't tell you what game I have in there. Oh, you know what it is? It's Red Dead. I can't tell you.
Of course it's Red Dead.
But it's going to stay in there because I hate, even though literally I've rearranged my gaming setup, I can literally reach under the desk now and eject the button. Whereas before I had to get up and change it like you. Yeah. Now I can just reach under. It's like 2 feet away. I can reach, press the button and pull out the disc. But what I would love is a diskless drive where I feed that disc in it reads it, it recognizes I have that game. If it's going to take 100 gigs to install anyway, and I have to have the disc in, let me take the disc out, hang onto the disc, and then the game still play. Now, I know that leads to potential sharing issues. That leads to potential theft issues, because what's to stop me then from installing Red Dead and downloading it, taking it back to the store, returning it, or selling it, and then saying, well, I have Red Dead, I don't need this disc anymore.
Right.
But here's what I suggest as a fix for that, is that you have to enter a code in along with that disc. You pop the disc in, you enter in a code almost like you bought it digitally.
Yeah.
And then that code is specific to that disc. I don't know if that's possible with the technology, but the disc basically is locked behind a code. Now, does that screw up used game sales? Sure. Right? Because then you'd have to get a new disc code for it.
Yeah, of course.
But that would also prevent that theft in a way too. Or you know what? Just let me do this. Say, you know what? You installed it on a Sunday. Every Sunday, you've got to put the disc back in for just to read the disc once, right? To be able to access the game. So like you get a week with it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it would be weird, but I'm just trying to come up with solutions, because you're right. It's a pain in the butt to change it. And I don't want to see Sony go, hey, how about if we give you a six disc drive? You can just put 6 in at once. Like some sort of car CD drive player. That would be
like
ridiculous
those old
too.
CD changers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't want that.
You can hold
either.
up to like 50 or 100. Remember those old things? Those like big old clunky things?
Yeah.
Man, could you imagine that for your system?
And that's what I'm saying. I don't want that either.
Our PS5, apparently Rob wants a PS5 that looks like a jukebox.
Yeah. I don't want that though. That's what I'm saying. So either make me stick the disc in every couple of days too. Not every couple of days. That would be a real hassle. Maybe once a week. It has like a cycle of 7 days. Or sell me a code that's in the box that unlocks the disc. And then if I want to resell the game, I can purchase that code for $10. So if someone else buys a used game, they have to buy the code for $10. I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing, right?
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of a diskless drive. I like the idea of putting it in, installing it, taking out, putting it away. And then I have that's what I love about digital. I can pull up a game. I can exit out of it. I can switch over to Odyssey, and it's a click over, it's a click over on my toolbar.
Right.
So I would love that for a PS5.
Interesting.
Other things you would want out of a PS5? Because I've got a couple other, but I thought I'd jump back to you for a little bit since I kind of went on.
No, it's okay. I've been quietly researching the prices of hard drives and what the price options would be and honestly, there are not many options for a 2.5 inch hard drive with more than 4 gig, with more than 4 terabytes.
Yeah, and so if we're talking about 2020, they've got to have everything built up, because that's when we think we'll release, at least I do. I think sometime in the fall of 2020.
Yeah.
You're talking about having that stuff probably by the fall of 2019 in line, in terms of something like that, right? So that you have an idea of cost and manufacturing cost and everything like that, so you can start pumping that stuff out. Maybe even by spring at the latest of 2020. So fall of 2019, spring of 2020. So I wouldn't be, because you also want to, when you announce it, and I imagine they want to announce it sometime in 2020 and then release it by the end of the year, kind of pull like a Bethesda with games, but shock the system of everyone and say, we're back at E3 this year to let you know you can get a PS5, you can pre-order it tonight, and you can have it in November, right? Don't drag it out. Just hit us with it, surprise us, say, here's the gigs, here's the things, here's the SKUs. We have an optional bundle where it comes with the PSVR 2 headset, because I do think that there'll be a new headset by then for it as well. Maybe if Vive and Oculus can drive it hard enough, fast enough, we can get a wireless headset next time from Sony, and it'll still be affordable.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. And I think you hit all that. And so that's the other thing I want. I want a bundle with the next generation Move controllers, headset, camera, or you know what? I don't even need that. Tell me my camera and my Move controllers will still work from my PS3, and let me have a new 1080p, whatever needs to be, 1240, whatever it might need to be, 1660. I have no idea what the number would be. Wireless headset with built-in headphones for the VR headset, and bundle that with a VR game, 2 or 3 PlayStation Plus games that are free for PS5, like they did with Resogun, and even a year's subscription plus the game. Sell it all to me for like $500, $600. I'll take it with the VR headset, of course.
Of course.
So that's another thing I'd love out of the PS5. So we'll see. Don't let me steal this. I'm telling you, I got a list.
You do?
I do. It's all in my head. I've been thinking about this.
Here's a question, and this is just, this is kind of like a do not want to a certain extent. What is the highest you're willing to pay for it?
PS5 system, 1 controller, and all the hookup stuff. I'd say $350.
Wow, $350
at most.
At most,
I would prefer. Well, because what was PlayStation 4 when it came out?
For $500? Or
no, PlayStation 4 was not. PlayStation 4 was not $500 when it came out. That was the mistake they made with the 3. It was not that much. I swore it was $300. $399. Okay, it was $399. So actually, I'll tell you what. I'd be comfortable with $399 again.
All right.
$499 was what the PS3 was. They'll never make that mistake again. Guaranteed.
You don't think?
No, because it bit them. I think they knew that $399 was the perfect price. So $399 is what I would pay.
Do you think that's what's biting Xbox?
No, I think lack of exclusives, and I think mixed messaging at that E3 is what. I almost said mixed Mexican.
Yeah, that's what I thought you almost said.
I was thinking about tacos because I had tacos today. Because I just riffed them and I was like, oh, tacos. No, I think $399 is the most you do.
Interesting. Yeah, PS3 $600 for the 60 gigabyte model, which I paid.
Yeah, and I did not pay that. I waited a year or two.
Yeah,
I waited till it dropped to $400. I think that's what I'm saying. $399.
But that was one of their highest selling systems, wasn't
that? No. I sensed the sarcasm.
I don't know. I liked it, but I understand. Yeah.
Oh, I liked it too.
It was a beast of a thing.
But that's the problem. I didn't like it that much to pay that.
Yeah.
And so I really do want or need that $400 price point's probably perfect again. So we can just leave that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want out of PS5?
I do think there needs to be a bundle, especially if they're going to keep pushing the VR and stuff. I feel like there should be
a SKU with the headset included.
Yeah.
Yeah, $500. I'm telling you, because VR right now is $199. You release a wireless headset and maybe sell it at a little bit of a thing like that. Because here's the thing: you've got people like me hooked on PSVR.
Right.
I'm hooked. I'm sold. As soon as they get a wireless headset, I'm in. And so if you do that as a bundle and
it's
make
not
it
wireless?
No.
I didn't know that actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you kidding me? That's the biggest complaint is the amount of wires. But it doesn't really bother me because, yeah, one's hanging down off of me. But unless I'm swinging like a madman with Beat Saber, I very rarely have hit the cord or bumped into it, or I forget it's there. And so even though it's hanging down off my head, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're sitting too, you don't feel it. But yeah, I think they need a bundle. What about backwards compatibility? I know that's always a big one.
Yeah. I don't quite know exactly with backwards compatibility because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it jacks up the price to a certain extent.
Well, I don't know. Xbox did it without jacking up the price.
Yeah.
This generation.
Yeah.
And they continue to do it. I think it's possible. And here's what you do. All you need to do is, since the cell architecture, the internal bits are the same, basically, just more powerful. Just let me stick my PS4 disc in. It reads it, says I have the game, and then it gives me access to download it on the store. It doesn't have to play my PS4 disc. Just let me have access to it digitally.
Yeah. With
the option to install from the disc if I want.
Okay.
And then that gets rid of that disc problem. But it's not going to hurt you necessarily with PS4 games because, everybody's going to be buying PS5 games by then.
Yeah.
With the exception of the few that'll continue to trickle out on the 4. Do you want a handheld component?
No, God,
no. The Switch?
No.
You don't want a separate tablet that you could take with you? and play your...
No, because that'll just jack up the price.
Okay. What if it didn't? What if it was $399 instead of a VR headset? Because let's say VR headset's $599 or even $499. Let's say $399 plus you get a 13-inch tablet that connects wireless over any wireless connection with your PlayStation and allows you to access the PlayStation Store, play your PlayStation games. And you can take the controller with you. It plugs the controller. Actually, the controller wirelessly syncs with the tablet. So you got to do is have a little kickstand for the tablet that's maybe built in the back.
Oh, so much batteries being used.
I know. But would you take that?
Maybe. I just don't think... I like it as an accessory. You know what I mean? Like, I like it as a... Not an accessory, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I like having the option like you have with the
Remote
PSP
play?
now. Yeah, Remote Play now.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that on my Mac all the time. I'm like in the other room. And I'm like in bed and I'm like, I'm too lazy to get up and go play. I pull my Mac and I have a controller sitting in there. And I just plug it in. I do the Remote Play and I can sit with my 13-inch, 14-inch Mac screen and I can Remote Play Red Dead, and it looks almost as gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
You know, where I did that the other day with I don't remember what I was playing. It might have been Odyssey, actually. I did it with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I was like, it still looks good. I'm still enjoying this. It's, you know, it's a tinier screen, but I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter to you then?
Not really, honestly. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if I can Remote Play myself, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
You don't need the added in tablet?
No.
Okay, fair enough. What about this is actually one thing I will complain about, and I want a better Ethernet wireless card inside the PlayStation 5. I want like a top of the line, can receive like 100 megabit download speeds card. Seriously.
No, I mean, I get it.
Because I plug my router and my modem are 3 feet away from my PlayStation, and I hardwire them into my PlayStation, and I know that card is maxed out at like 45 megabytes per second or something stupid.
Right, yeah.
And so give me something that's like wireless and, you know, could download from like 100 feet away at like 200 megabyte speed type internet Ethernet card in there, wireless card. That's always been something that Sony skimps on. And if you're going to have downloadable games, or you're going to have PlayStation Now, and you're going to have streaming service like a Game Pass type service, I want an awesome wireless or even wired card within that. So that's a big gripe of mine that I always have with Sony. I'll tell you what else I would love. I love the new iterations of DualShock controllers, but screw that. I'm actually totally fine with my PS4 DualShock controllers. Like, just keep those and let me hook those up to my PS5 as well.
Yeah, I do like this
generation. And this generation, I've owned more controllers than any other generation. I always have maybe 2 at most. Yeah. I own 4 right now, and I've sold 2 because they broke. But you know, but yeah, let me keep the controller. I'll take backwards compatible controller hardware. I know that's not usually a thing, but I wouldn't mind that. They don't need to improve on it. I like the controller. It's better than the PS3 controllers were. It's probably their best controller yet, actually. I'm going to say that on record.
You would hope, at least.
How about the UI? How do you feel about PS4's UI? I know it was way better than PS3's.
Man, I don't even remember PS3's, to be honest.
Oh, you don't remember that the chintzy clicking and how long the store took to pull up?
Well, I remember the amount of time the store took to pull up, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that was... Yeah, the clicking was a little weird.
Yeah, I want the UI to be a little bit more next gen as well, whatever that looks like.
What a cop-out, man. What a cop-out. What is next gen, then? What does that look like to you?
You know what would be kind of cool? If it was almost, and I probably get people to shoot me for this, almost like Mac desktop-like, where it can be all clean, your screen could be clean. No, think about this. You have this amazing background, or like interactive background that can just play. Mm-hmm. And then you can just press a button and the menu pops up, and whatever game, your games are in a library section, you know, the PlayStation Store is in a section, and you can just like select those icons Or I'll tell you what, even give me a customizable UI. Let me decide how I want it laid out. Give me like 10 different options.
10 different options? Why wouldn't they just do it like a desktop where you can just rearrange folders and
I just said that and you went, ugh.
I'm just saying though, like 10 different options seems absurd.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would like a desktop, because I have that amazing, right now I have the amazing Last of Us crackling fire, background as my theme.
Oh, where'd you get that?
You told me about PS that, right? Store for free, yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
And so it's a beautiful car lit on fire and, simulating the crackling sound of like a fireplace. How cool would it be if my whole screen was just empty and I could just have that? And then I press a button and my UI pops up and I can select my games folder. I could select the PlayStation Store folder. You know what I mean? Just give me the opportunity to select that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be fine with that. And so a better UI system, Ethernet card, backwards compatibility, larger hard drive.
Now you say better UI system, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate. Do you have anything wrong with the current UI?
I don't like the folder setup for whatever reason. I have folders set up on mine where I put games in, because even within that, once you get like so many games, you're still scrolling across the screen.
Oh, okay. So you even with the folders, you're scrolling.
Yeah, because if I put 20 games in a folder, let's say I have a genre that's like games I've finished, and then I have backlog as another folder. Well, if my backlog folder is 20 games long, suddenly when I drop down into that folder, I'm still scrolling across the screen like I would if I left them all on my screen. It might not be as far, but I don't like that. I'd like for a way for them to all be laid out on the screen. And so maybe you can adjust the size of them and have them as a desktop where they like line across in rows or in columns.
Okay.
And you can adjust the size. And so, maybe it's just, you can have kind of like you do with a lot of folders like you were talking about. You either have just a picture, which is like the game picture that pops up, or maybe you have just the text, or you have the game and the text, right? Maybe you divide it up that way.
Okay. Dude, what about voice recognition? Because they have a little bit of that now.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
You already got Alexa spying on you. You already got Google spying on you. You don't need anything else spying on you.
Don't say that too loud. She'll hear you.
I don't have her, thankfully.
I do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
She probably hears everything you say.
Probably. It's funny because we'll be watching like a show or whatever, and something that close to her name, she'll like light up and be like, "Sorry, I didn't get that."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Creepy. You creeper.
I don't need that. I just need the improved UI, like I said. And those are ideas off the top of my head that I would go with.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd want out of a PS5? I've really kind of made a list here.
Oh,
you're just happy as long as it has a 4K UHD drive and a bigger hard drive, I guess.
What would you say to a solid state drive?
You know what? I actually thought about that. I don't really care either way about those. Like, I know for some people they like that stuff.
Supposed to be a little bit faster.
Yeah, and I've seen tests where people are like, whoa, it was 0.83421 seconds faster. Like, oh, thank you. I can't believe it took 19 instead of 20 seconds. I don't need any of that. You know what actually would be cool as well, though, is customizable PlayStation plates. And so they always come out with those special editions that are really awesome. It'd be great if you could like find a way that you could like customize your actual PlayStation, like without having to buy a sticker or buying a special edition. Like they just sell for like $5 or $10 like a different like faceplate that you can slide on and off.
But isn't that like a sticker though?
Yeah, it would appeal to me because I like looking at mine with my custom made sticker on it.
Oh, what is your custom made sticker?
I have the Joker on it.
Oh, the Joker, huh? I got Darth Vader on mine because I got the special edition.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, how cool would it be just easily swap those out? Like a sticker, you got to peel, you got to do all this, Just give me a faceplate that I can swap out real quick.
But how much do you look at it? Like, mine, I don't see it.
Oh, well, if you don't see it, that's different. But I know I display mine, or I did.
Like your prized possession.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. The controllers, the customized controllers.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But,
I like those.
It's something they would never do.
No, I'm talking about just like this generation's.
What?
I just like this generation's, the amount of colors they've had.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, like the special editions, the amount of controllers. It's so funny. My girlfriend bought me a skin for Christmas. I was like, crap, now I need to buy like a regular controller because all my controllers are special editions. I have the 10th anniversary. I have the Darth Vader one, and the one that I still haven't opened up is the 500 million.
That one's sitting right next to me right now.
Yeah.
I've been playing with it. It's gorgeous.
That's the only 3 I have because I busted my Arctic White when I was raging and playing Rocket League.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess to kind of wrap this up, anything else you can think of that you want in a next generation PlayStation console that's lacking this generation or brought back?
Ooh. You know what would be nice? Wireless charging.
Yeah, like a built-in, like maybe like a little pad that comes with it that you just lay it on and charge. I'd be for that.
Turn on rest mode. Just pop it right on top of the machine.
Oh, built into the machine you're talking about.
Yeah, why not?
That would, hey, well, if we're dreaming big, why not?
I mean, God, if I'm going to dream, I'm going to dream big, Robert.
No, I like that idea a lot, actually. That is good. You know what else I would like? Speaking of wireless, why don't you have a built-in headset? You know, you got to plug that little dongle into the USB drive.
Yeah.
Why can't we have like a built-in Bluetooth that's just for the headset? I mean, we have one for the controllers, right? They connect, they sync once you plug them in.
I think that's why, though.
Yeah, but you know what? You could. There's ways around that.
Are there?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, you're probably more tech savvy than I am.
Not that much. I just pretend to be.
Right. I mean, there might be. I would imagine there'd be some kind of way around that, but I mean,
a little button, perhaps, that's controller.
Maybe.
You know, that's a very specific signal to the headset. You know, because then you can also sell the Sony headsets, and that's a selling point.
But then don't you then have to have 2 Bluetooth readers in there? You know what I mean? If it's going to be on a different frequency?
Yeah. But so what?
Yeah.
I say, so what? Again, if I can dream.
Well, I mean, we can always dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would think wireless charging would be nice. I mean, I have my little stand that I put that I click my things into when I'm done playing, and it charges them. But I mean, I don't know. The less outlets I need, the better, I think.
Oh, yeah, totally. I would agree 100% with that.
It would certainly leave it in rest mode more for me. Like, I barely use rest mode.
Oh, I use it all the time.
Honestly, I don't use it at all. I accidentally put it in rest mode.
See, I love rest mode. I love getting the automatic updates because I'm not home enough during the day. And when I sit down at night, if I've got that half hour, I don't want to wait 20 minutes for my card that's not strong enough because they don't put a good wireless card in there to have to, you know what I mean?
Why don't you just use a wired connection?
I do. But even with the wired connection, it's still, there's a max. And I think it's 40 megabytes download.
Yeah.
Even with that. And so 40 megabytes, how many gigabytes usually are updates? At least 2 most of the time. So you're talking like a 5 to 10 minute wait. And I know that's not a long wait, but when you've got a half hour of gaming time,
yeah,
you've cut into a third of it.
Yeah.
So no thanks, you know? Anyway, I think that's a good list.
Yeah.
And if there's anything we missed and you want us to cover it next week, please feel free to write into us and let us know. You can hit us up over at our website at weare1ur2games.com. You can hit us up over at weare1ur2@gmail.com. Let us know what you want out of a PlayStation 5 because it's going to be at least another year before we even consider seeing that or experiencing it. So we might as well dream about what it's going to be.
Of course.
That's going to wrap up the talk. Thanks for listening. There is no see you soon this week because it's once again another week where there's no PlayStation drop.
Yeah.
There is no reader mail because none of you wrote in like you were supposed to.
How dare they?
How dare they, whoever you are.
I'm scolding our 3 listeners.
I know. Because there's no games out, I can't even do our Metacritic game. Because I rely on games coming out for us to do a Metacritic game. And there weren't even... I checked the PlayStation Store, and all we could do is review avatars if we really wanted to.
Pass.
Yeah, so I'm going to hard pass on reviewing avatars. But if you really want us to, write in and let us know. We will start reviewing the avatars on the PlayStation Store. I don't even know if anybody looks at those. I'm sure somebody does.
I would imagine. Someone, right?
Someone has to. Why else would they sell them?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up, I guess, then. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting with us. Let us know again what you want out of a PlayStation 5. And until next time, game on.
Game on. This is the outro music. Outro music for this week. We're dreaming big in our outro music. We want things like wireless charge. Outro music for this week. Also, another big dream would be like to have it out 2019.
Touche.